Hi, everyone. A huge day coming up. We have a Fed meeting. We have five of the Magnificent Seven are reporting earnings today, on Wednesday, and on Thursday. Wednesday is the big day. So we go straight from a Fed meeting where no change is expected into Amazon, Meta, Alphabet, Google's parent, and Microsoft, all reporting results together. So a huge amount of data to come with, but we're going to simplify that and just tell you really what you need to know. Now, as you probably know, we've gone into these meetings and also these earnings reports with strong momentum. So US stocks have hit record highs. They did back away from those highs on Tuesday, but we think it potentially could be temporary reprieve, just investors really taking a pause. It's very normal at these record highs. Doesn't necessarily mean that a sell-off is coming, but it makes perfect sense to take a bit of a pause before we move into earnings season for sure. So I'm just going to run through a few numbers with you. Nothing too amazing, but there have been a lot of news reports on top of these numbers. So Microsoft, that's going to be a really key one. Obviously, Microsoft is like the world's third biggest company, but it left its exclusive deal with OpenAI. That's really not had too much of an impact on the stock. And the reason why is that OpenAI actually missed its own internal revenue target. So ending that exclusive deal, probably not as bad because there are a few issues with OpenAI, but that was the news that came out. Now, we're expecting 81.4 billion in revenue for last quarter for Microsoft. So a very strong year. We've got a PE ratio of 26.5. And the stock has rallied. It's up about 2% in the past week. So it's rallied into it, although it did pull back on Tuesday. Now, CapEx, that is a really key figure to watch as well. In fact, if anything, some people think the CapEx figure will be more important than the revenue figures. Now, that's expected to be 110 to 120 billion for 2026 for Microsoft. We'll be watching to see if there's any changes in that. If it's too much, then there could be some suspicion about how quickly Microsoft will monetize that. That could weigh on the stock price. Obviously, if there's not enough CapEx, if they cut it, then that's going to lead to bigger questions as well. So looking for around 110 to 120 billion in CapEx. Now, if we go on to Meta, Meta's also up 1.5% in the past week, leading into this earnings report. They lost an AI deal with Manus, which is a Chinese AI company. And that is, they're kind of that to Meta anymore. So that's something to point out. Again, it's not had a massive impact on the share price, and we'll be waiting to hear a little bit more about that today. 55.8 billion in revenue expected by Meta, PE ratio of 28.8, and CapEx of between 60 to 65 billion dollars. Now, that is obviously a lot less than Microsoft, but Meta is a smaller company, so it's in relative terms, it's a lot of CapEx. Amazon is up by a bit less, about 1.6% in the week leading up to it. Revenue is expected to be 177.28 billion. Earnings per share is $1.63. Remember, obviously, it's a very low margin business, Amazon, because it's an online retailer, but those revenues absolutely enormous. We're going to be looking at what cloud sales are doing and also what their web services, so AWS, is doing as well. They're expected to have CapEx of $200 billion. So they really are one of the biggest hyperscalers out there, Amazon is. They've got a PE ratio at the moment, so their valuation is 36.4, so on the high end, actually, compared to the other hyperscalers. And of course, we've got Google this evening as well on Wednesday. Now, Google has been the top performer leading into this. It's higher by 10% year to date. That compares to a 12% loss for Microsoft, and it's up by 2.5% in the week leading up to this earnings report. Now, they're expecting revenues of 106.98 billion. They've got a P ratio of 32. We're looking at ad spending. We're also looking at cloud sales for Google. Their CapEx is expected to be 175 to 185 billion dollars this year. So CapEx really is key, but we've also got that strong momentum, as I said, in that tech rally leading up to it. But CapEx really is key as markets try to gauge, well, is all this AI spending actually leading to profits down the line? That's what's going to drive their share prices. If they show signs that, yes, our revenue is expanding because we're selling all these AI services, we're able to provide all these AI services, that's why we're spending hundreds of billions of dollars on data centers, then it could be good news for the big hyperscalers in the US. But if we dive into the charts, because I know you're desperate to see them. Brilliant. Now, this is the NASDAQ. And as you can see with the NASDAQ, sorry, bear with me one moment, just pulling that up. Just reloading. The NASDAQ has come under a bit of pressure in the last, oh, sorry, let me just pull that up properly. NASDAQ's come under a bit of pressure in the last day or two, but look at that rally. That is an absolutely stunning rally. Now, this is a 2-year chart, but we've had just the most fantastic move higher. So on a long-term basis, it looks like we're kind of leveling out, but on the short term, it looked like it was a really sharp sell-off. So just to keep that in mind. Now, I just want to show you Microsoft, because Microsoft has had a bit of a mixed performance, actually. Microsoft obviously had a really strong run up in the last few days, but it has been on quite the decline since peaking in August last year. So that's why when I spoke about the PE ratios, that's a really good way of saying whether or not something is highly valued or less well valued. So if something's expensive or if something's cheap. Now, 36.4 for Amazon. Google for Google it's 32 times. For Meta it's 28 times. For Microsoft it's 26. So their PE is 26. That means it's the cheapest of the big hyperscalers. So if you want a bargain, then Microsoft is the place to go. So Microsoft has not been this cheap in a very long time. So the fact that it has fallen off and the fact that it's rallied then in the last month or so is really a sign that investors are saying, hang on a minute, that looks like really cheap, it looks like good value, but the next level higher, whether or not we see an extension of this recovery will really depend on this earnings report and whether or not they're delivering, particularly on that the revenue generated by their AI product. So how quick are people buying Copilot, for instance? What are their projections for the future sales for things like that? One thing I would point out, though, is that there's a lot of naysaying about the hyperscalers and how much they're spending. They can afford it, especially when they're, if you think about it, Microsoft is spending 110 to 120 billion per year on capex, and they're expected to generate 81.4 billion in revenue just last quarter. So, if you can do that 4 times, then you're probably spending about 25% on capex. That's still a lot, but just to put that in perspective, because we hear a lot about big concerns, but these companies are absolutely massive and they do have the cash to do it. But I do think that we just need to obviously watch where is the revenue coming from, and that's key. Now, we are also, I'm just going to show you Google as well, because Google really has been probably the most favored stock actually in recent months for those AI hyperscalers. As I said, it's up 10%. Now, what's really interesting is that for quite a lot of time in 2025, if we look from 2024 to 2025, Google didn't do very much compared to some of its peers. There was a lot of suspicion last year about, well, is Google lagging in this AI race? Well, not so much in the last kind of 6 months. It really has bucked that trend of weaker tech stocks. It's continued to move higher. Its AI tools are seen now as being best in class. So it's really turned itself around. So that's not to say that other hyperscalers can't do that as well. Remember, they have big war chests. They can turn themselves around very, very quickly. Microsoft, for example, some people may be saying on the back of these results, depending on what they are, well, has Alphabet had its day? Is it time to maybe cut back a bit on Alphabet, move into Microsoft? Because obviously Google is more expensive than Microsoft at the moment as well. So when we look at earnings season, we're taking all of that into account. Its revenues, its capex spending. What's the overall environment like? And also, what is its price to earnings ratio? What is its valuation? That is really, really key. Now, we don't just have, I'm going to show you a meta chart. Sorry, bear with me one moment. We'll take a look at Meta as well. Meta's kind of been trading sideways, actually. It's had a better performance than Microsoft, but it is just above, just more richly valued, but it's definitely been one of the laggers. There is some doubts about whether Mark Zuckerberg's ambitions will actually bring the company money. They're still essentially making all their money from ad revenue, so we expect that to continue. They do tend to see a small rise in their shares on the back of earnings reports, so that is something as well to point out, but not a huge one. They did rally last time at the beginning of this year. That came on the back of stronger revenues and slightly stronger forecast, but we need to see that follow through. So now there's kind of big expectations for what the revenues are expected to be. But I think with the concerns yesterday about OpenAI missing its revenue targets, that's probably just upped the pressure a little bit on these companies, making sure that they are I'm actually delivering when it comes to this. Now, I am just going to switch my screens around so that we can take a quick look at what's going on with what's going on, sorry, with the FOMC meeting, because we do have that today as well, and that really is critical. So just bear with me one moment, guys. I'm just going to share my screen for this. There we go. Now, what does this tell us? This is today's meeting, the 29th of April. No changes expected. 100% of the Fed funds futures market is priced now for no change, expected to remain 350 to 375, 3.5 to 3.75%. But if we go down to June, again, expected to remain on hold, but no cuts are expected. Remember, earlier this year, cuts were expected, but as that oil price remains high, we're not seeing those cuts. So very much expected to remain on hold in the US. If I go all the way out to December, there is really only a 15% chance of a cut. And that's because with oil now above $113 per barrel, is making it very, very hard for the Federal Reserve to cut rates. And we expect them to say that today. So that's the December expectations. And this is the April meeting. So there won't be any updates to the dot plot. There won't be any new projections. But I think that, when you look at Fed meetings, obviously today it's 100% expected, no change, and we don't expect the Federal Reserve to change that. The other thing to point out, this is the last meeting for Jerome Powell. It seems incredibly likely now that Kevin Walsh will become the next Fed chair on May 15th. He'll be leading the Fed going forward. What's really interesting is that he's considered a big dove. However, he has to work within market conditions to ensure that the Fed remains independent. And with the oil price just really, really elevated, that's going to be very difficult for him to justify cutting rates. So the market is not expecting rate cuts, and we expect a bit more of a cautious message that there are big problems with the high oil price. They're probably not going to change forward guidance. Obviously, Powell's not going to be there, so the market may discount it altogether. But obviously, the Federal Reserve, definitely something to watch. Always really, really big. But it is those hyperscalers that are very much in focus today, and that's what the market is going to be looking for, whether or not it can sustain another leg higher for the rally for tech stocks. So thanks everybody for joining, and do follow us because we're going to be covering those results on Wednesday evening.